Hi everybody, I'm sorry it's been a while since I did a recording. Things have been crazy, as I'm sure they have been for you, but I'm back on it now. I'm going to do a couple of recordings today. So this is another little set of routines, so short half an hour exercise sessions focusing on the core, this is level 1, so this is a more basic level or a more entry or beginner's level. What I would say is this isn't just a routine just to try and get you doing loads of sit-ups and crunches. We still want to think about form, and we still want to think about control and precision when you're moving. I would suggest that if you have any back pain, or if you've got any disc problems with your spine, or indeed with your neck as well as your lower back, if you've got diastasis, if you're postnatal, I would suggest this probably isn't a great class for you to do. Okay, at the moment, I will be posting some other classes and sessions on for those specific conditions and sort of stages of life, if you like. So I wouldn't suggest doing this class if you have any of the problems mentioned. If you feel like you can't control any of the exercises particularly well, or if any of them cause any issues for you, as usual, please do stop. Contact me if you're not happy, and just take it really easy. You probably will still feel like you're working quite hard even with this sort of more basic level. So I've got a few bits of equipment kicking around here. So I've got some head blocks as usual. So like I've said in all my other videos so far, if you haven't got head blocks, don't worry. Just use some cushions if you've got cushions at home, or pillows, or some towels just folded in half. I've also got a TheraBand that I'm going to use in the warm up. May well use it throughout as we go. So if you've got a TheraBand, great. If you haven't got one, don't worry. You can just do exactly the same exercise but without the band. And the other thing I've got here is a Pilates ball. So again, if you've got one of these, great. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Just use a rolled up towel or a cushion folded in half or something. Or just use, if your kids have got football or something, that will do. But if you haven't got any of those things, please don't worry. You don't have to have all this equipment. So we're going to crack on, and as mentioned, if you're not happy, if you've got neck issues, back issues, like I said before, probably not the best one to be doing at this point in time, but if you are going ahead and you're going to give it a go, stop if you're not happy. Just please do, just listen to your body. So we're going to take hold of your band. We're just going to bring your feet underneath your hips. If you haven't got your band, don't worry, just do the arm action without the band. So feet are just under hips. Before you start, just ground the feet down into the floor. Just make sure that your weight is nice and even, going from big toe to little toe to heel. We just want to soften the knees a little bit, so don't have them completely locked out, because that tends to throw the pelvis forwards. So we want to try and make sure that the pelvis and the spine are in a nice neutral position. So if you tuck the tailbone under, so imagine your bucket of water, we're just going to slosh the water one way, slosh it the other way, and then we're just going to rest in the middle. Your rib cage should be stacked over the pelvis. Shoulder blades are down. We're going to lengthen up through the neck. Okay, so nice alignment before we start. Now we're just going to bring the band in front, so your hands are just level with your shoulders. And now we're going to think about your core. Obviously this class is focused on the core, so we want to really try and get a nice connection coming through the core just to get going. So keep that nice alignment there. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, really simply, we're just going to pull the band. But as you pull the band, I want you to think about connecting with your core. So we're going to think about pelvic floor, and we're going to think about lower tummy. We're going to exhale as you engage. So that tends to get a better general core activation as you exhale. And I want you to imagine you've got a zip going from pubic bone up to tummy button. And we're just going to visualize that you're just drawing up into that imaginary zip. So you're trying to connect pelvic floor into lower tummy if you can. So hands in front, take a breath in, keep your shoulder blades down. As you breathe out, we're going to pull the band, think about that connection, pelvic floor to tummy, and then breathe in, let it go. So shoulder blades stay drawing down, breathe out, we're going to pull, and breathe in, let it go. You can also think about your back passage if you want to, if you're happy thinking about that. So as you pull the band, if you imagine that you need to hold wind, and you're just going to gently draw up through the muscles around the opening of your back passage. So breathe out, connect. breathe in, relax off. Rib cage just stays nice and stacked over pelvis, and shoulder blades stay drawing down. We're going to do 3 more of these. Just really feel that nice deep connection into your abdominal and pelvic floor muscles with your breathing. So everything's working as a system together. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement in with it now. So we're going to add a little bit of a squat in with it. So if you take your feet out to the side just a little bit, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to add a squat first. We're going to come down into your squat, and then we're going to pull the band as you come back up out of the squat. So we're going to breathe in, release the band off a little bit as you breathe in and squat. Breathe out, connect pelvic floor to tummy, or imagine you're drawing up into that imaginary zip as you come back up. So breathing in to come down, breathe out to come up. We're still thinking about shoulder blade control. And also, I just want you to check how your knees are bending. So make sure that they're bending out over second and third toe, and they're not sweeping in towards one another. Breathing down, breathe out, connect, lift. We're going to do 3 more. So just think about just zipping up pubic bone to tummy button as you come up, just deepening that connection into the core. Last one. And then we're going to come down, and I just want you to roll your shoulders round. Great. So pop your band down. We're just going to do a little bit more in standing. So a little bit more balance work, but again, we're focusing on connecting into your core as well. So your feet are just under your hips. We're just going to rest your hands onto the brim of your pelvis. I want you to try and focus on keeping your pelvis nice and level. So if you imagine that your 2 bones on the front of the pelvis that stick out there are a set of car headlamps. Now those headlamps can only point forwards. We don't want them to twist, and we don't want them to do weird droppy things either. So they're just both shining straight in front, and they're nice and level. We're going to connect into your imaginary zip again. So pubic bone to tummy button. Gently hold. We're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, just want you to see if you can take one leg up away from the floor, just to tabletop. So the knee is just level with the hip, and then we're going to bring it back down. So connect, breathe out, lift. Breathe in, down. Now, as you breathe out and lift, think about just connecting that bit deeper into those deep core muscles. Your spine shouldn't move out of neutral, so you shouldn't feel like you're flattening or arching the back. And again, pelvis is nice and level, and shoulders are drawing down. We're going to keep going. Breathe out and breathe in. Breathe out and breathe in. Let's do 1 more on each side. And then after this one, we're going to change. Okay, so we're going to take your leg up in front, same as before. Just have a quick reset first, just make sure you're still in the right position. So we're going to lift the leg up first, but then from here, keeping those headlamps forward, we're just going to open the knee, bring it back to the centre, and then bring it down. So we're going to breathe out, come up. Breathe in, open. Breathe out, close. Breathe in, come down. So again, we're really just focusing on connecting into those deep core muscles there. So breathe out, breathe in, keep that control around the pelvis. Breathe out, bring it back, and breathe in, come down. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Let's do 1 more on each leg. Really connect into that deep core, in to open, out to close, in to come down. 1 last one. And then come down. Well done. Just roll your shoulders a couple of times each way. Now we're going to take it down onto the floor. We're going to start lying down on your back. If you do have TheraBand, we're going to tie your legs together. Okay, so try and keep the band nice and wide, and we're going to aim for mid-thigh. One loop and then another loop on top, and we're going to come straight down onto your back. In terms of support underneath your head, just make sure you're comfortable. So I quite like using a slightly bigger pad underneath my head. But just make sure that your neck and your spine are just in a nice neutral position, and you don't feel like you're dropping your head forward or back. So we're going to rest your hands on the front of your pelvis. I want you to feel the 2 bony points that stick out on the front of the pelvis here. We're just going to do some hip opening. So again, imagine those headlamps. This time they're just pointing straight up onto the ceiling. And we're going to connect first. So again, pubic bone to tummy button. Just check your spine is neutral. Shoulder blades are drawing down. We're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, nice and simple, we're just going to open one knee out against the band, and then we're going to bring it back up. And then other side. Breathe out, open. And breathe in, bring it back. So as you're moving the leg that you're moving, the other leg is staying completely still. So if you imagine that you've got a drink or something balanced on the top of that knee, and you don't want it to spill off. So it's all about control. Don't worry about how far you're going with the leg. We just want to make sure that you're keeping that nice control around the spine, keeping the pelvis level throughout, keeping the connection on with your core. Exhale to move, inhale to return. And we'll just do one more on each side. Now, if you found that that was already enough, you can repeat another set. If you want to make it harder, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to bring it up into a bridge. So for this one, you may find that just coming a little bit lower underneath the head feels a bit more comfortable on your neck. But again, just do what you feel. So we're going to roll up into your bridge, but this time we're going to hold it at the top and we're going to add your hip openers back in. So take a breath in, breathe out, we're going to open one knee out and breathe in to come back. Same again, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So again, the leg you're not moving is staying nice and still. We're still focusing on the connection with your core, but now obviously we're bringing in some other muscles as well, particularly your glutes. Now if you want to layer in a little bit more, as you open the knee, we're just going to drop the hip of that side down towards the mat, so we're getting a little bit of rotation in. We're not touching the floor, and then we're going to squeeze and return back up to where you started. Okay, so other side, we're going to open, just drop the side that you're opening, and then we're going to close and squeeze and lift back up. And we're going to keep going, so we're going to open and drop, and squeeze and lift and close. Now in terms of breathing, you can really do it either way. So you can breathe in to open and breathe out to return, or you can breathe out to open and in to return. So either way you can do, just do what you feel feels most natural, but make sure you keep breathing. So we're going to keep going. We're going to do one more on each side. And then just hold it here. Take a breath in, and then carefully we're going to roll back down all the way through the spine. When you get to the bottom, just draw your knees in towards you. Hug them in. Just let the back flatten, rotate the legs a few times each direction. Okay, so bring your feet to the floor. We're going to take your band off. If you've got something like a ball, just to pop in between your knees for the next few bits, that would be great. So, we're going to keep feet, knees and hips parallel. Ball just goes in between your knees. And we're just going to do some simple arm movements here. Again, just to make sure that we're connecting into your core, keeping your position as it needs to be. So, a little connection against the ball with your knees. We're going to press your arms up. So the hands are over your shoulders. Your shoulder blades are going to draw down into the floor. So we're going to take a breath in. As you breathe in, we're going to take your arms back behind you. And then breathing out, we're going to deepen the connection into the core, and we're going to return back to where you started. So it's a really simple movement. We're going to breathe in, take the arms back. breathe out, connect back to where you started. So really easy to do this exercise wrong. So one classic thing people do, as they take the arms back, they allow the ribs to flare and the spine arches away from the floor. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep your spine in neutral, keep your rib cage heavy, keep your breastbone soft, breathe in. It may mean that you don't go quite so far with your arms, which is fine. Just work with what feels like you can just really keep it well controlled. So if we do one more, and then we're going to change it slightly. Make sure you're keeping your neck nice and long. So on the next one, we're going to take your arms back behind, same again, but this time we're going to circle them out to the side, and then we're going to come up through the middle. So we're going to breathe in, and breathe out, rotate, and come back to the centre. So let's just try and keep it going. Again, just keep those shoulder blades drawing down, keep your lower tummy switched on, nice and controlled around the rib cage and the spine. Keep the connection on the ball with your inner thighs. That just helps to activate just that little bit more into your core. And we're just going to do one last one. Well done. And then come down with your arms. So we're going to take the ball away now. Now we're going to do a little sequence of some more superficial abdominal work. But it's really important with this next sequence of exercises that you keep things well controlled around the spine. So we're not trying to just do a load of crunches or a load of sit-ups. It's nice and controlled. So we're keeping the spine in neutral. We're not going to flatten the back down into the floor. We're not trying to come up as much as you possibly can to really round into the spine. It's more controlled than that. So we're going to start off just bringing your arms down by your side. Now, if you find that your neck isn't happy with these, take one hand and just place it behind the back of your head just for a bit of support. Okay, that's absolutely fine to do. So we're going to zip up first. So think about your lower tummy. We're going to connect pelvic floor to tummy again. So pubic bone to tummy button, just gently. Make sure that you keep your spine in neutral. We're going to take a breath in, reach your fingers towards your feet. As you breathe out, keep the connection on, and we're going to lift the head, and we're just going to peel up into your upper spine, thinking about sliding ribs down to pelvis. So we're thinking about connecting ribs towards pelvis rather than doing a crunch. And then we're going to come back down nice and carefully. So we're going to breathe out, exhale, come up, and inhale, control it back down again. Just watch what your shoulder blades are doing. Really easy to let go of the control further up. And try not to poke your chin forward. So if you imagine that you've got an orange in between chin and chest, and we want to keep it there, keep the back of the neck long. Now we're going to do one more, then we're going to start adding some legging with it. So connect lower tummy first, breathe out as you come up, rib cage to pelvis. On the next one, we're going to add legging. So we're going to do the same thing again, but this time as you lift, we're going to take one leg to tabletop, and then we're going to control it back down. And then other side, breathe out. And breathe in, come down. And again. So we're still trying to connect pubic bone to tummy button first before you do anything. Keep the spine in neutral. If you need to, keep the head down. So don't do the crunch, just do the legs on their own, or a bit of support behind the head with one hand. So on the next one, we're going to come up, we're going to hold it. We're just going to do legs. So we're going to hold it here and bring it down. And again. Keep going. Try and keep the pelvis as level as possible. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. We're going to do one more on each leg. And then last little bit here. we're going to do some arms. So we're going to lift the arms and then we're going to come down. So we're going to lift and down. Again, try and keep it really controlled. Shoulder blades, neutral through the spine. Keep that pelvic floor to tummy switched on. Last two. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And we're just going to come back down. Give yourself a little stretch for a moment. So we're going to do similar sort of thing, but this time we're going to add a little bit more rotation in. So we're going to actually bring in your obliques a little bit more. So again, if you find that you're not happy with these, you can always repeat what we've just done or just have a little rest. Same thing as before, so we're keeping that nice neutral spine again. This time we're going to take one hand behind your head. The other arm is going to reach down towards one side. Okay, so we're going to just work to one side. So connect pubic bone to tummy button first. We're going to breathe out, we're going to curl up, but this time I want you to add in a very slight twist with it. So you're going to bring your opposite elbow over towards opposite knee, but again we're not trying to do a crunch, we're keeping spine in neutral, keep the lower tummy switched on, just a really small movement. So we're going to come back down again. And we're going to do the same, breathe out, connect lower tummy first, breathe out, come up, and breathe in, come down. Keep going. So your pelvis just stays nice and level. You shouldn't feel like you're twisting through your hips or your lower back. It's upper body doing the work. Two more this side. So you'll feel that obviously when you keep it really precise and really focus on the quality of the movement, it actually feels quite challenging. So let's repeat that on the other side. So swap hands, just make sure again that you're in the right position. Connect pubic bone to tummy button. We're going to do the same again. So we're going to come up first, but then a little rotation at the top. And then come back down. So again, connect first, breathe out, come up. Breathe in, come down. Last one. And then we're going to add your legs back in like we did before. So this time we're going to place both hands behind your head. And again, just check before you start that you're still neutral, you still feel happy. This time as you curl up, we're going to add opposite leg in. So we're going to lift, we're going to add the rotation in, but we're thinking about bringing opposite elbow to knee. And then we're coming back down. Again, keep it precise, keep it controlled. Exhale, come up. Inhale, come down. So again, we don't want to be flattening into the back or curling into the back. Keep the spine in neutral. Although we're working more superficially into your tummy, we're still trying to think about connecting into your deep core first. So remember to connect pubic bone to tummy button before you move. One more each way. Well done. And then just give yourself another breather. Bring your knees in. Roll the knees a few times each direction. So we're going to change again now. So this time I want you to come up. So we're just going to support ourselves onto our forearms. Now when you're in this position, try not to just let yourself sag. It's really, really easy to do. Okay, so we don't want to be hunching the shoulders to the ears. We don't want to be flattening the back down towards the floor. If you think about lifting through your breastbone, so breastbone is reaching up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades are drawing down, We're still trying to get that spine into a nice neutral position before you start, and we're keeping pelvis level, and connect your pubic bone to tummy button again just before you start. Okay, we're keeping the neck as comfortable as you can. So take a breath in. This time we're going to breathe out. We're going to take one leg to tabletop, and then we're going to bring it down. And then other side, breathe out, breathe in. As you lift the leg, try not to flatten or arch into your back. Every time you lift the leg, deepen the connection into your core. We're going to do one more each side, and then we're going to change. So we're going to hold the leg here, but then we're going to switch to the other leg. So we're going to drop that leg down, and we're going to reach the other leg up. Now when you drop the leg down, we're just coming down to the tip of the big toe, and then we're going to switch. And we're going to switch. So you're breathing out as you switch. Take a little breath in, breathe out again as you switch. Keep it controlled. Let's do one more on each side. And then come down. Just press the legs together, just have a little breather for a moment. Just roll the knees a few times each direction. Come back to the centre. We're going to do one more here as long as you still feel comfortable. If you don't, stop, have a rest, and we'll go on in a moment. So this time we're going to take one leg to tabletop, but then we're going to stretch the leg out. So we're lengthening through the leg, point the toes, bring it back to tabletop, back to the floor. So we're lifting and stretch, back to tabletop and down. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Again, nice level pelvis, neutral spine, shoulder blades are drawing down, and we can keep going at this level. Or if you want to make it harder, after this one, we can come up with both legs. Okay, bit more challenging. So if you don't like this position, come back down. But we're going to stretch one leg out, draw it back. Breathe in to stretch, breathe out, draw it back in. Keep going, in, breathe out. Keep lifting through your breastbone, nice long neck. One more on each side. Well done. And then just allow yourself to come back to the floor. Bring your knees in again. Just rotate round a few times each way. So from here, we're going to turn over onto one side. So take your time getting there. Just going to quickly sort my hair out whilst it's falling out. So we're going to do some side planks. So we're going to support yourself on a nice straight arm. With these, it sometimes takes a little bit of adjusting just to make sure that you're in a nice comfortable place. But we want a nice straight arm. Shoulder blade of that supporting arm is drawing down. We're going to bend the knees, press the feet and the knees together. We're going to press up. So we're going to come up into your side plank. Now we're going to think about drawing the hips up towards the ceiling. And we're going to reach the other arm over the top. So think banana-shaped curve or C-shaped curve through the spine. And then we're going to come back down, but we're just going to come back down to neutral. And again, so we're going to lift, breathe out, come up and over. Remember, keep the shoulder blade of the arm that you're taking over drawing down as well. And then breathe in, come back. Breathe out. And in. We're going to do 3 more. So again, we're really trying to deepen the connection into your lower core and tummy as you exhale. Last one. And come down. Now the arm that you were supporting on, we're just going to take over And just give that side a nice stretch. So just lengthening all the way through that side. Just breathe into it. Well done. And we're going to just go over onto the other side and do the same thing. So take your time getting there. Again, nice straight supporting arm. And up we go again. So bend your knees, connect first. Breathe out to come up. Take your arm over, banana curve. Breathe in, control back. And again, remember shoulder blades drawing down. Breathe out, come up and over. And breathe in, come back off. You may need to move your supporting arm slightly. So if you find that your wrist hates it, take the hand out a little bit more. So don't have it so close to you. You might find that feels a little bit more comfortable on your wrists. So let's just do 2 more. And come down, excellent. Now we're going to again just give that a little stretch. So take your supporting arm over and hold it. Breathe into it again. So from here we're going to come over onto your hands and knees. You have an option if you need to use something padded or a little cushion or a folded up towel or something just underneath your knees for a little bit of padding. I don't personally like kneeling directly onto my knees, so it's quite nice just having something there just for a bit of support. So we're going to do a little bit here to finish off. So I want you to think about your spine and pelvis again. So we want nice neutral spinal position. Shoulder blades are down. We're going to tuck the balls of the feet under, so they're just resting. So you're just resting your weight onto the front of the foot. So we're going to breathe in, connect again, pubic bone to tummy button. We're going to hover the knees a couple of inches away from the floor, and then we're going to come back down. So connect, shoulder blades down, breathe out, hover, and breathe in down. Keep it going. Breathe out. Breathe in. So we don't want to be sticking your bottom up in the air. It's just a little hover, and we're keeping the spine in neutral the whole time. We're going to do 1 more, then we're going to add on. So we're going to lift the knees, hold it here. We're going to do some little marches if you can. So we're going to take one leg up, bring it down. Other side, breathe out, breathe in. So you're just lifting the foot a little bit away from the floor. Keep the shoulders down. One more each side. And then bring your knees down. Stretch your arms. Well done. So we're just going to finish with a few stretches here. Okay, so we're going to come down onto your front. Use something underneath your pelvis or your tummy if you need to, if you're not happy lying completely flat on your front. So we're going to do a little bit of a stretch into your spine, but also into your abdominals, because obviously we've been working those quite heavily today. So we're going to just bring your arms down to your sides, and we're going to take a breath in. Just try and connect into your lower tummy, and try not to overarch into your lower back. But we're going to just peel up. So you're going to lift your head away from the floor. We're going to peel up into your breastbone, into your spine, and we're going to come up just as far as you feel you want to go. Try and keep your neck long. If you can, stretch out your elbows and lift them away from the floor. But if that's not comfortable, just keep the forearms down on the floor. It's completely up to you. We're going to hold it at the top for a breath in. And then we're going to slowly come back down again, all the way back to the floor.
feet, knees and hips are roughly parallel. You can have the feet slightly wider than your hips, and you can turn them out a little bit if that feels more comfortable. So breath in, breathe out, we're going to lift, and we're going to peel away from the floor. Keep the neck long, keep the shoulder blades drawing down. Hold it at the top for a breath in. And then we're coming back down again nice and carefully. We're going to do 2 more. Breath in, hold. And come back down. And we're just going to do one last one. Well done. So we're going to carefully push up onto hands and knees. Stretch out your arms in front. We can just open the knees a little bit if you want to. And we're just going to come down and just focus here on breathing. So we're letting go of your tummy, letting go of pelvic floor. And just focus on the rib cage, just lifting up and out as you breathe in. And then just gently relaxing down again as you breathe out. Now we're going to do a little rotational stretch as well. If you've got a ball, great. If you haven't got one, don't worry. Just slide your hand along the floor instead, okay? But we're just going to come down. The hand that's furthest from the ball is just going to tuck behind the supporting arm and it's just going to rest on top of the ball. We're going to breathe in, hold, and then as you breathe out, we're just going to push the ball away. And we're thinking about trying to bring your shoulder blade down towards the floor. Hold it for a breath in. And then breathe out again. Just roll the ball back or just slide your hand back towards you. So breathe out, push away. Breath in, hold. And breathe out again, return. We'll just do 2 more on this side. Last one. Well done, and then we'll just repeat on the other one as well. So reposition your ball, or just pop your other hand to the other side. Same again, so we're going to breathe out, push away. Breath in, hold. Breathe out, bring it back. And again. Two more. Well done. And then come back to the centre. We'll just do a couple of cat stretches here as well. So just have your hands wherever they feel comfortable really. So a bit wider, a bit forwards of shoulders. You don't have to have them directly under shoulders if that's not nice. So take a breath in, draw the shoulder blades down. We're going to breathe out, scoop the tailbone under, curling up. Hold at the top for a breath in. And then we're coming back down again. So we're trying to think about that nice segmental mobility, starting from the tailbone, working all the way through to the neck. And then on the way back, we're starting from the tailbone again, and we're coming all the way back down. And we'll just do two more. Well done. And then again, just rock back onto your heels, hold it and breathe. And then carefully come up. So well done. Hopefully you feel like you've woken up your core from doing that little session. If you feel that it was quite challenging, it might be worth just sticking at this routine for a little bit longer before moving on to the next stage, which is going to be a little bit harder again. If you found it was a bit easy, then feel free to move on to the next level, which I'll be also posting today. But thanks for joining me again, and hopefully see you again soon.